Welcome back to the SundayGorilla Men's Bible Study. I'm Brother Thomas Lee Harris III, and we're continuing in our verse-by-verse study through the book of the Gospel according to Matthew. Chapter 1. We're in chapter 8, starting at verse 1. The Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 8, verse 1. When he came down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. Behold, a leper came and worshipped him, saying, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me whole. So I'm going to put a little check mark next to that. Matter of fact, a check mark with an H for healing. A check H I put for healing. Verse 3. Then Jesus put out his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing. Be cleansed. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. And Jesus said to him, see that you tell no one, but go your way, show yourself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded as a testimony to them. So when Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him, pleading with him, saying, Lord, my servant is lying at home paralyzed and dreadfully tormented. Amen. So I want to write with a pen in the margin, sent, C-N-T, for the centurion. This is the parable of the centurion. Okay. Verse 7. Jesus said to him, I will come and heal him. Verse 8. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that you should come under my roof, but only speak a word, and my servant will be healed. Amen. So I want to highlight speak a word. I want to highlight verse 8. Verse 9. For I also am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes, and to my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to those who followed, assuredly I say to you, I have not found such great faith, not even in Israel. And I say to you that many will come from east and west and sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the sons of the kingdom will be cast out into outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then Jesus said to the centurion, go your way, and as you have believed, so let it be done for you. And his servant was healed that same hour. Verse 14. Now when Jesus had come into Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother lying sick with fever. So he touched her, and the fever left her, and she arose and served them. When that evening, so once again at 14 we could put a little H with a check mark. Really, this chapter 8, we could almost at the beginning of chapter 8 put an H and a check mark for healing. So verse 16, when the evening had come, they brought him many who were demon possessed. And he cast out the spirits with a word, and healed all who were sick. Verse 17, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, he himself took our infirmities and bore our sicknesses. Amen. And when Jesus saw great multitudes about him, he gave a command to depart to the other side. Then a certain scribe came and said to him, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. And Jesus said to him, foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man who has nowhere to lay his head. Verse 21. Then another of his disciples said to him, Lord, let me first go and bury my father. But Jesus said to him, follow me, and let the dead bury their own dead. Now when he got into a boat, his disciples followed him. And suddenly a great tempest arose, so that the boat was covered with waves. But he was asleep. Then his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us, we are perishing. So in the margin here, I want to write the storm. Amen. So verse 26. But he said to them, why are you fearful, O you of little faith? Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was great calm. So the men marveled, saying, who can this be, that even the winds and the sea obey him? When he had come to the other side, to the country of Gergenes, there met him 2 demon-possessed men, coming out of the tombs, exceedingly fierce, so that no one could pass that way. And suddenly there cried out, saying, what have we to do with you, Jesus, you Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time? Verse 30. Now a good way off from them was a herd of many swine feeding. So the demons begged him, saying, if you cast us out, permit us to go away into the herd of swine. In verse 32, and he said to them, go. So when they had come out, they went into the herd of swine, and suddenly the whole herd of swine ran violently down the steep place into the sea, and perished in the water. In verse 33, then those who kept them, and they, amen, verse 33 again. Then those who kept them, and they went away into the city and told everything, including what had happened to the demon-possessed men. In verse 34, and behold, the whole city came to meet Jesus. And when they saw him, they begged him to depart from their region. Amen. So we have, and that concludes the 8th chapter in the Gospel according to Matthew. So we see this last section. We see Jesus healing the demon-possessed man. And the demons were actually talking to Jesus. And they said in verse 29, have you come here to torment us before the time? Meaning before the time they cast into hell for eternity. Alright, so the demons recognize who Jesus is. Amen. And this chapter is full, and I don't want to get into too much highlighting, because the word's really speaking to you, and that what you see significant, highlight. And I'm going to try to back off the highlighting a little bit, because we really can mark up everything. But we see what we have here. We have the miracle at sea, when he calmed the sea. We have the last half, the healing of the demon-possessed man. Prior to the healing at sea, more healing. The healing of the centurion, the healing of Peter's mother. And it started with the leper. So healing, healing, healing. Amen. Chapter 8 is definitely a healing chapter. And the power of Jesus is truly manifested. And they said, in verse 27, who is this man? Wow, who is this man? Glory. And that concludes the 8th chapter in the Gospel according to Matthew. Amen.